made content for this Premier League season.
Bringing that real fan experience.
Want to see some crazy?
Wherever you are in the world,
bringing you the latest opinions
and fan reactions.
Back again.
Welcome to FanPark Live.
Brand new shows every week.
UFF are going hard this year, you know. So make sure you lock in.
Tell them right, you come on.
Real fan opinions brought to you by Wash and Go.
Hello and welcome back to FanPark Live. I'm Terry Flewis from the Football Terrace. Arsenal 2, Watford and their lack of cojones nil today, and Lacazette has come up trumps again. He may not get his name on the score sheet as things stand, but influential in both goals. One of the very best strikers in world football, is flying now under Unai Emery. Arsenal and those green shoots of hope are appearing more and more. This must be a positive sign for Arsenal fans. I want to hear from you on 0203 606 0315. Give us a call. Let us know your thoughts and feelings on, as I say, this progression under your new manager in the new direction that you're going in. I'm joined by my man Devo, resident Gooner.
Yep.
How did it feel to get? Was it your 6th win on the bounce in all competitions?
Bounce, yeah. Is it 6 or
6,
7?
maybe 7. So
Maybe
it's
7.
a lot of wins. I don't remember Arsenal winning this many games on the bounce in a long time.
And you know the best part of it as well is that we haven't clicked fully yet. So we are literally finding our legs, but we are grinding out results.
Yep.
And you know, once Emery's, you can see week by week they're getting used to his philosophy. They're getting used to the way he wants to play.
Yep.
Once we do get that on board, hopefully you'll start to see the performances match the results. Right now, I couldn't give a damn. We're winning. At the end of the day, that's it. Yeah. We're winning. And long may that continue. And is the game finished now? We still on? Is it still going?
It's still just going on as we speak.
This will be 2 clean sheets on the bounce in the league as well,
which is very important.
So,
and both goalies get to share that as well. Leno coming on and making his debut, which is great.
I still don't trust Leno fully. He's a bit flappy for me.
I mean, look, the game, as you mentioned, the game. Watford were in this. Watford have started the season well. It's gone a little bit off the boil, but if you look at the breakdown of things, Arsenal dominated the ball, but with nearly 64% of it. They've had 8 shots on goal, 2 on target. Watford, for the 36% of the ball they have had, they've had 13 attempts, 4 on target. Success probably with their best opportunity to make it 1-0. They did, and so there are still some areas in which that Arsenal fans should feel concerned about, and there's still some areas to critique and say could improve. Where is it for you? I think Emery's got people working hard now. There are people working hard for in an Arsenal shirt, which I haven't seen for a while. That's a good area of success. What's the next stage for you as an Arsenal fan that you want to see improve?
I think we need to get Ozil. It doesn't work. Ozil, Ramsey, and Aubameyang. They're out of position. So we're playing players out of position. I think with the firepower we have, we should be. Well, I mean, we are scoring goals, but we're not controlling games. I think that's where, if we can't play like this week in, week out, because teams will punish us. You see, Watford should have scored. Last week, Everton could have been 3-0 up in the first half. I think we need to start controlling games a little bit more, and we need to be a little, because even today, we run out 2-0 winners. It could have been completely different. And we looked a bit nervous for a long period in the second half at the back. We looked a bit nervous. So I think these little things we need to tweak, and that will come gradually as the players get used to his system.
Look, I couldn't agree more, and I've said from day one with Unai Emery coming in, this is about Arsenal rebuilding. It was never going to be an overnight success. This is very different from teams like, say, Chelsea, that are used to having the recycling of managers with a squad of players that have won major trophies over the last 5 years. I think for them, they're already a step ahead, and you know what? In 2 years' time at Chelsea, there'll be another manager crisis. There'll be another dip. A new guy will come in and we'll see a resurgence again. Where I think Arsenal want to try and create something different. Maybe not a 25 year tenure of a manager, but certainly someone that's there for 5, 6, 7 years. Which even in the sort of the sort of 90s era of football, 6 to 7 years was considered long term. Just our managers of Wenger and Fergie very much broke the mould in that. So I think we've got our first caller. Who do you say it is? from the United States. We have a caller from the United States who's going to now come on the air and give his view and opinions. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ben. I'm calling from United States.
Okay, whereabouts in the States, Ben?
New York.
Fantastic. I'm going New York next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just listening. I'm just listening to your program that you are doing concerned about the Manchester and Mourinho and the players and the board and etc. The whole issue that I just want to contribute is that we are in the world that these players, they want to go get their own way. They don't want to listen to the instructions. They don't want to listen to the correction. Now, the point here is that Manchester has a good manager. But the player has to understand that they are paying for them to perform well for the club. Not only for manager, they have to perform because they are paying for. So all what the players are doing in the field is just shameful that they are just trying to do. And then many people are backing these players more than the coach. There is nothing that the coach can do because these boys, they already have the money and the contract can never be denied. So they have their own way to perform. Whether they will perform, whether they will not perform, they don't care because of the contract.
Do you think that?
Way back.
Do you think that Jose should fine them?
No, because of the money. Listen, because of the money that they have, they don't want to listen to the coach.
So he should fine them if they don't do what he wants. He should fine them 2 weeks' wages.
Exactly. They have to fire them or they stop paying them. They change.
Listen, really appreciate your call. Thank you. I didn't know we were going to take calls on Man United.
I think that maybe it's a time delay.
Maybe. The anger about Man United losing today is stemmed over into
let us have our moment. Show. We're winning right now.
Interestingly on this, though, I think this applies to Unai Emery. Here's a quote. Read this quote. Yeah. If a coach has no control, he will not last. You have to achieve a position of comprehensive control. Players must recognise that as the manager, you have this status. Before I came to United, I told myself I wasn't going to allow anyone to be stronger than I was. That is vital. Sir Alex Ferguson's, that's the first point. If you read Sir Alex Ferguson's blueprint on leadership, it's about that. And when I look at Unai Emery, I see a man who is starting to make Ozil work harder. He is starting to mould the team in his way. And what I like and what I see from the attitude of players and what's going on at the club, the way Arsenal is structuring itself again, and there has been a restructure. They did it over the course of last year with directors of football. Obviously, Kroenke's son coming in and doing bits and pieces. But they are giving Unai Emery complete control over the squad. And that means he picks his team, he picks his tactics. They want it to be sort of a progressive style of football, but that's his tactics. Equally, I would believe they're going to go after who they can afford, but the manager gets to pick the players. The manager will get to sell who he wants. He gets to drop who he wants. And if any of these players throw their toys out their pram, I think Arsenal Football Club will give Unai Emery the last say on how they are managed. And I think, going back to that quote from Sir Alex, that's what managers need, especially at elite level clubs, to be successful. Okay, yep, you don't get full control anymore. You don't run the boardroom. You don't run everything like Fergie and Arsene Wenger used to. But what you do need is complete 100% control over the goings-on of that squad, especially the discipline area. Because like that caller just alluded to with Man United, when you've got players that want to down tools and not work hard, if Unai Emery was allowed some of the Arsenal players to be as lazy as they were under Arsene Wenger, you wouldn't be seeing these results today.
And I think you see that is one of our earlier games, one of the first 2 or 3 games where he subbed Ozil. Ozil never got subbed under Wenger. No matter what was happening, he never got subbed. He subbed Ozil, and that for me was an indication saying, right, well, if you're not going to do what I want, I don't care who you are, I'll drag you off. And you saw it today in the game. He pulled Ozil over at one point. He had a long conversation with him, telling him what he wanted from him, and Ozil's got back into the game a little bit more, and you saw he got the goal. So I think Emery is a bit more of a disciplinarian in that respect. I think Wenger had his points where he was a bit of a disciplinarian. It was all behind closed doors. He would never do it in public. He wouldn't have taken Ozil off just for the backlash that would come with that. Whereas Emery's like, right, this is how I want it. This is what I've got to do. You guys have to buy into this, or we're not going to progress. And I think that's the right way to be.
Well, that's certainly what I've seen under what I saw with Wenger, I think as he become older, I think he just naturally became more laid back and lax, and that's noticeable in all industries. And anyone sitting here listening or watching, you know, if you work with, you know, older people, they become a bit like that. They lose that same fight, that same hunger. They become more mellow with age, and I think that goes across all sports and all industries. But the one thing that you've seen now under Unai Emery is people working harder and you're fitter and stronger. And I think an Arsenal team, in the games you've mentioned earlier, so struggling at times against Everton and also today against Watford, their opportunities. Arsenal under Wenger, not only did they lack the heart and desire I saw today, there's also a lack of fitness. So scoring 2 goals once you get near the 80th minutes, I don't know if that would have been possible in a game as frantic as that. But because the players are fitter and stronger now, the mindset works longer, and we get results. We've got an Arsenal fan on the line that we're going to have a little chit-chat with now. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name's Bryn.
Bryn?
Yeah.
Hello, Bryn.
How you doing, Bryn?
We understand you're a gooner, is that right?
I am a gooner indeed, yeah.
Good.
Good, man.
What's your thoughts after another victory and another clean sheet for Arsenal today?
I think Danny Welbeck and Iwobi changed the game when they come on, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought they brought width into the game, and I thought really they changed it up. I mean, Iwobi's cross for the first goal. He was putting pressure down the wings, and I mean, he done his job, really.
I'd agree with that.
And I mean,
I think Iwobi... Sorry, mate. I think Iwobi has been great under Emery. I think he's looked confident. He looks fresh. He looks fit. And I think in every game he's played, generally, he's looked very good this season.
Yeah, I think the first half they were putting a lot of pressure on us, and the majority of the second half they were putting pressure on us. But I reckon last season under Wenger, I reckon we'd have crumbled. I reckon we might have lost that, you know. But I think Emery's got more discipline in the team. I think he's got it more sorted, and I just think we're playing better under him.
Yeah. Also, I think it's a mentality thing as well. I think because the players know Emery's going to... Something I noticed, it was, obviously it's a Carabao Cup, but I noticed Mkhitaryan was getting done on the wings a lot, and we was getting a lot of pressure on our right back. And he made that change. He took Smith Rowe off, put Mkhitaryan in the middle, and pulled Welbeck over to the right, and gave the right back protection. Wenger would have never done that. I was a big fan of Wenger, but tactical changes and making changes early in games is something he never did. He just let it play out.
Very true. And do you know what I think as well? The majority of Arsenal fans that are doing this deserve such respect as well, because some of the changes that I see Unai Emery make would be considered, like you just did there, more defensive. It's to protect people. Yeah. We're going to pull a star player off who's an attacker, and we're going to change the system to ensure we get the result that's needed. There are other clubs in the Premier League, namely mine, where if the manager makes a tactical decision that's considered defensive to stop his team from conceding, there's all-out war. If it's a fan favourite that's pulled off, i.e. an Ozil in your situation, Arsenal fans are saying, no, this is their manager, we're going to respect him, we're going to let him make the decisions. And I think the board giving him that power and control, and you as supporters being respectful and understanding that the manager deserves to be given that level of respect. You're not questioning every move he's making, every decision he's making. You're backing him. That will feed into him. You get that in the atmosphere at the stadium. He will hear what's going on in the press. And I think Arsenal fans are playing a massive part in the rebuilding of their football club.
Yeah. I also think it's nice to have a sub made before the 67th minute. So that's always nice.
Very, very true. Listen, really appreciate your call, Brent. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. I mean that, and I'm saying it sincerely. Sorry, mate. Cool. We've got another Arsenal fan coming on the line. Let's get him on the air.
I'm loving this.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
It's Simra Shafir. My name's Simra Shafir.
How you doing? What do you want to say?
I want to say that we played really well today.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, how, for you, the progression under Unai Emery is getting better. There's clean sheets. You're winning, is it 6 or 7 games on the bounce you have won? What has been the biggest change that your new manager has injected into Arsenal Football Club?
I think it's the way we play a different style. We do like we play high pressing, and the team they want to win it more, and also we got our strikers have been.
They've been what? They've been very good. Your strikers, I think. Lacazette the man is firing again.
He did miss a sitter today, though.
He did. But again, it's you've got to take that caller there for whatever reason he hung up. Bless him. I think he got a little nervous. You know, we were talking about Wayne Gretzky earlier, legendary ice hockey player. He said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And Lacazette, he had that shot and he missed, but didn't stop him. Again, a difference under Unai Emery. The players, their heads stay up. The confidence remains. They don't shrink into their shells. You know why? Because the atmosphere in that stadium's different. The atmosphere with the fans is different. I remember watching football, like Sunday League football, and there's this lad that played up front, and he was a great striker. But when he missed a chance, all I ever used to shout to him from the sidelines or on the pitch if I was playing was just keep your chin up, keep your chin up. He missed 3 or 4 sitters one game, and 3 or 4 people in the team were like screaming at him, calling him names. And I'm just like, no, just tell him he's going to score in a minute. Keep encouraging him. Tell him to keep your chin up. Bang, he scores. And for me, that's what Arsenal fans are doing wonderfully well this year. They are encouraging Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, as opposed to jumping straight on their backs. And why? Because that toxic atmosphere has been removed.
Precisely, yeah. I mean, that is a massive difference as well. There's a lot of positivity around the club. This whole Ramsey situation does, you know, kind of feed in a little bit of negativity into that. But I think Ramsey played today. He didn't play great. But when he came off, the fans clapped him and everything like that. And I think that will make a difference for him, because there's a bit of question: will people cheer him? Will they boo him because of this situation?
Well, look, Ramsey's not doing anything wrong. Ramsey, he's got a market value, and this is what he can get paid elsewhere. This is what he thinks his value is in the market. Arsenal are making a decision that they're not going to pay that amount of money. I think one thing that hasn't changed since Wenger's gone is with all due respect, the lack of spending. I don't know whether over the course, maybe Arsenal are going to do a bit of a Liverpool. Maybe it's going to be moderate spending for 2 or 3 years whilst the squad and the ethos and the philosophy is being built. And once things have really clicked into gear, maybe then we'll go big and buy 2 or 3 superstars. But that's maybe not. Under
Kroenke.
But what I would say to Arsenal fans is that, look, if you play football as you did today and you increase this quality by, say, 15-20%, you're in and around title races, top 4s, doing well in cup competitions, would that be enough?
For me this season, if we got into top 4, I think it would be a great season. I think we were miles behind last season. If you look at the other teams, if you look at Chelsea, or you look at, you know, Liverpool and City, who are clear, but I think Chelsea, and unfortunately I hate to say this, Tottenham, probably have a little bit more than we do to go the full season and pick up those points. We've started off very well. We started off very, very well. Can we keep this up throughout the whole season? We'll have to wait and see. But I think come January, we won't be bringing in many players. Anyone who thinks we could go out and spend money is deluded. I think whereas Chelsea and Spurs will probably strengthen in some way, we won't be able to do that. So I think getting in the top 4 this season would be a great season for us.
Don't disregard that. Yeah, I think for the first start, absolutely. Another Arsenal fan on the line we're going to have a bit of a chit-chat with now. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Mohamed Bakar.
Hello, Mohamed. You're a gooner. What's on your mind? How are you feeling after another victory, another clean sheet, and another great performance from Lacazette?
Well, listen to me, yeah. I don't have to say much, yeah. Trust me, the happiness in me at the moment is just too much. You know, we got like a manager that got a mindset of winning.
Yeah.
You know, changing the football, you know, and doing it in the way that at least it will make the fan be happy, you know, because football is all about the fan, is it? You know, like the last season, we were like having too much of stress. Each time, you know, we go to the stadium where we get humiliated for no good reason, you know. But with this new manager now, you can see he has the potential of winning. All what he's doing there is to win. You know, he has a plan B and plan A. When plan A fails, then plan B. They get these strong people in the bench, you know.
Yeah. And do you know what's so important about having a plan B? When you don't have a squad that's on par with Manchester City, with Barcelona, Bayern Munich, when you're not one of the elite 4 or 5 squads in the world, you need to have a different methodology to break teams down. If you're being, if there's a part of your system that's being ripped open, as Devo mentioned earlier, down the right-hand side. You make a defensive or a structural change to counteract that. And Unai Emery does that wonderfully well. And I think with Arsenal's squad, with the players, and with the players that you have out there, I think it's very, very important to have a manager like that at Arsenal Football Club.
Definitely. And I think, as the caller before said, the introduction of Iwobi and Welbeck changed the game. So we had, when he took off Aubameyang, I was a bit like, whoa, this is one of the best strikers in the world. Surely just move him inside and bring someone. But obviously, that's why he's paid all the big bucks. He knows what he's doing, and that change actually effectively won us the game. So yeah, I'm liking what Emery was doing. When he was announced, I wasn't best pleased. I think he's not the best defensive coach, and I felt that's where he really needed to improve. I'm still not 100% on Mustafi. I've got to say, I think he was poor today. One player I do want to shout out is someone who I've given so much stick, and that's Xhaka. Xhaka was very good today. Only made one mistake, but he was very good. His distribution was great. So I've got to applaud him. I can't just always have a go at him when he plays well. I'll say he's played well.
Absolutely. If somebody says here on AFTV, this is Jack Spade, who says, how does anyone know that we won't buy in January? Is he in the board meetings? And look, I think that the one thing...
It's plain to see. I mean, we can't afford to give Ramsey his money because Emery thinks that money can be distributed elsewhere in recruitment. Reportedly, Ramsey's asking for 200,000. So if we can't give Ramsey 200,000 and we're looking to put that elsewhere, it means we're probably only going to sign someone if we sell Ramsey. We don't have the money. I don't have the money of even Liverpool or City or Chelsea.
Well, I think what he needs to do is deliver that top four. If you get back in the top four to start with and you're in Champions League, that's an extra 40-50 million pound per year. I'm sure that some of Arsenal's sponsorship deals are similar to that. By the way, thank you very much for your call. I think some of the sponsorship deals that Arsenal have will be very similar to that of many other elite teams, where I remember reading about Man United's Adidas deal, and it was 700 million over 8 years or something. But it was a case of if you were out of the Champions League for like 2 seasons on the bounce, going into a third season, there was a reduction of, say, 25-30% of that money per season. So I think that the board are reluctant to go out and go big in case it doesn't pay off, because you can spend lots of money and then if your income drops dramatically, that puts you into a difficult position. But I still think Arsenal, though, when you go through that team, you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Welbeck and Iwobi on the fringes of that. You have a good enough side, and do you know what? Go back and do it in a different way. Go out and find the likes of, if you can, over the next 2 years, if you can find 3 or 4 Torreiras. I don't literally mean positions like him, but people of that ilk that can come in, and then the likes of the elder statesmen you've gone out and bought on cheap. There are other ways of doing it. You just need to have the right scouting system in place, which you appear to have. Another Arsenal fan coming through on the lines now. Remember, the number is 0203 606 0315. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name? He's gone.
He's gone.
He bottled it.
Is that quick?
Yeah, that's all he had to say. I've actually had the first comment of the day on AFTV saying DT got arrested. Jeez. There we go.
Oh, I'm sure that affected the result of the game.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sure the players would have been there.
Another Arsenal fan coming through now. Another Arsenal fan on the way through. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Jim.
Sorry, what's your name?
Jim.
Jim. How you doing, Jim?
How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I want to talk about, I think, you know what? I'm so happy with Ozil now, because every game this season he's played, I can say he gave a 6 out of 10 performance. Not because he's played good necessarily, but he's given 100% every single game. I see him tracking back, putting in tackles. Emery has done something on him because he is working so hard now for the team.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because whenever you look at Ozil's, the amount of ground he covers per game, he's usually in the top 5. He covers a lot of ground, but because of his style, he doesn't seem like he's doing much. But he does get around the pitch.
I agree with you, because last season, I remember, I looked at his output defensively, and it was getting like 1.3 tackles and interceptions throughout the whole of last season on the Premier League. And then Welbeck, who people say he's hard working, works hard and everything, he was only getting 1 tackle and interception per game. So it was a bit strange that Ozil had more defensive output than someone like Welbeck.
Yeah, do you know what it comes to? I think the thing with stats is, one, that they give you factual information. You also have to remember it depends. I don't understand how some stats are actually worded, like, you know, tackles per game as an example. I remember watching the game once and I saw, I think it was Mustafi, like, win the ball off somebody in what I would consider, because I don't always, tackles for me isn't just a sliding tackle. I saw him win the ball back off somebody, say 6 times, and it said he only had 2 successful tackles. So I'm like, I don't even know what defines a successful tackle. But on the Ozil thing, no doubt about it, the biggest issue that Ozil has is that he has in his history disappeared in major games. But the problem that then does, it creates this need for confirmation bias from people. So if you have an issue with Ozil, you look for every mistake. An example I always give, I used to live with a guy, a house share with some mates, and he hated Michael Carrick. He wasn't even a Man United fan, but he hated Michael Carrick. And I was watching a game with him once, and it was actually Man United versus Arsenal. And we got to about 80 minutes in, and Carrick was having a really good game. The guy didn't mention Carrick once. And about the 82nd minute, United were about 2-0 up. Carrick misplaced a pass. And the guy was like, there you go. I told you how rubbish he was. And he waited the whole game for that one mistake to focus. And I think Ozil is subjected to that. People look for the 2 or 3 errors in a game, and that's all they focus on, rather than looking at the entirety of the picture. So I do think he's very unfortunate in that way.
Yeah, I think another thing which Emery's changed, like, he's not scared to take people off. Like, he took Aubameyang off at 75th minute. He does, like, with Wenger, you could, before the game started, you could tell which 3 people were going to come off. He would usually take off the striker, the centre mid, and one of the wingers. You could just tell, you know what he's going to do. With Emery, he reacts to situations in the game. So if West Ham, just say, for example, West Ham are dominating us down the flanks, you'll put on someone who works harder, like a Welbeck. And that's what I like about Emery as well, proactive.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
He is,
100%.
mate. Appreciate that call, mate. Thank you very, very much. And look, all these positive things you're saying are very early stages. This, for me, is a 24-month project. He's 6 or 7 weeks into this, and there's great moments. And all I keep saying, I've said it from the start of the season to Arsenal fans, is I implore them, if you have a few sticky moments, stay with the manager. Don't suddenly, you know, if there's a little bit of a mob gathering, oh, I don't like it, don't join that mob rule, because mob rule is very addictive. And we see that happening at the moment with a particular club in England. People are jumping on the bandwagon, and there is a sense of, and Arsenal fans will remember what it was like when Wenger was there. Once you joined that mob rule and you got on the Wenger out brigade and you took out all your frustrations, you know as well as I do that you're actually taking out your frustrations, whether it be from your relationship, whether it's a hard week at work, whether it's from, you know, whatever's going on in your life. You use football as a way to channel that aggression and that anger out. And I think actually it makes you feel better in the short term, so you become a little bit addicted to it. But I think for your club to become successful again, which should give you joy. You know, I was saying earlier, I was suffering from football depression. I'm actually suffering from sport depression at the minute. Like, in major finals, like, people I want to win, Serena Williams loses. Boxing last night, George Groves gets banged out. My football club can't win a game. Like, at the moment, there's everything. Even in one of my favourite TV shows, my favourite character got killed. And I'm like, what's going on? Mick Carter's gone to prison in EastEnders. It is all falling apart in my life, but I'm not going to allow myself to fall down that slippery road of ranting and going crazy, because it actually doesn't help anyone. We've got another Arsenal fan to speak to. We're going to get him on the air. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
It's Will.
Hello, Will. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm very, very well, thank you. What's on your mind after another fantastic victory for Arsenal?
Yeah, it's all good. I just think it was interesting what you said about Ozil, players that maybe if he goes missing in games, etc. But I think people don't really cut him a lot of slack, because in certain situations, if there's top players in top teams like, say, City, and one of their playmakers doesn't have a good game, I feel like the rest of their team is able to dig them out, and it's not really noticed as much. But with Arsenal, Ozil is a top player, but in games where he's maybe not performing, and people know what his game is based on, it's more so passing with runners, etc. So in a situation where our players aren't deciding to run, because in certain games we don't really play, our wide men don't get forward, etc., or make the right runs, he's going to be essentially like trapped, and he won't be able to play his game. So it's not necessarily him going missing, but it's our other players not being able to dig Ozil out and give him a chance to show what he can do. He's not going to dribble past anyone. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough. He's not quick enough to do that. But the game that he does rely on is with runners and with players doing what they're supposed to do in a system that suits him.
Yeah.
And we just haven't had that, I guess.
I agree with that. Like, I'll be critical of Ozil when he doesn't do his individual job in games, but I think a lot of football fans forget that they are watching football and it's not tennis or boxing or UFC where it's a singular sport. You know, if a boxer goes in, messes up, makes mistakes, and gets sparked out cold, that is his fault. In football, as you say, sometimes it's the runners, sometimes it's the people finishing. I remember. Take it away from Arsenal to give it some context. Paul Pogba's first season at United, I think he had like 3 or 4 assists. But there was something like 15 chances.
Ibrahimovic missed.
Ibrahimovic must have missed about 8, and another player did, like sitters that Pogba set up. So statistically, he looked really poor, but it was because his teammates weren't finishing what he was creating. So people, and Ozil does suffer with that. I think the issue that we have, and I still think I say an issue, English watching football fans like hard work. Players like Ozil and Berbatovs,
they're not rated. They're not rated at all.
Matt Letizier's and people that don't run around like workhorses. Sometimes they don't get the same unless your team's winning. So Eric Cantona at Manchester United, if Cantona played the way he did, but in a much worse United team in, say, the 80s, I don't think now he may not be regarded in the same way because he wasn't, as you say, he didn't sprint around. He wasn't that kind of... Maybe. I'm not slagging Cantona off. I think that if Ozil was playing in the 1998 Arsenal team or the Invincibles team, I think he'd be regarded as a maverick and a hero every day of the week.
Yeah, true.
I agree with that point. But even if you look at Ozil's stats, the good one was the World Cup, where he took a lot of stick for the World Cup, but he created more chances in that tournament than any other player. And
exactly, and it was the same in that season when Giroud missed so many chances for us as well. Yeah. And he created put balls on a plate for him to finish, and he didn't break the assist record. And because the stat lovers didn't see all of the assists chalked up, they still assume that he's not one of the best creators in the game, which I think is false. But
he is. But I agree with what you're saying. I think this season and under Emery, we will see a lot more, a lot more good games from Ozil, because I think once we get used to the system, the movement that he has around him and the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette,
and the key is dropping Ramsey. Ramsey needs to be dropped.
I think
because Ozil needs to play in the centre. Ramsey cannot play with Ozil in this system.
Well,
it will not work. They need to drop him.
We'll have that answer.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, he'll probably go in January. Listen, appreciate that call, mate. Very well put. Thank you.
But he does raise a good point. I don't think in this system Ozil and Ramsey can coexist. At the moment, he's trying to squeeze them in there together. I think sooner or later Ramsey's going to be phased out, which is a shame because we have to remember everything that Ozil's done for. Ramsey's done for Arsenal. He's been a very good player for us. He scored more goals from midfield than any other Arsenal player. 2 FA Cup winning goals.
But equally, you have to. Do you know what? Again, I always draw comparisons from my club. By the way, everyone, I've got a bet that's going on. Okay, through on BetBall today, and I put a bet on West Ham to beat Man United, Arsenal to beat Watford, Wolves to beat Southampton, City to beat Brighton, Spurs to beat Huddersfield. I put a £10 bet on. I will win £500 if Liverpool beat Chelsea. Should I cash out for £155 now, or should I see it through? I want you to leave your comments below and let me know what you think. See what I should do. And remember, if you do put bets on, you make sure you're over at the age of 18 and you bet responsibly. Bet responsibly. But always, I can afford to lose £10. It's not going to change my life, but I'm tempted. But we will see. But look, you're right. What you can't do is let nostalgia take over.
No.
And I saw that a little bit. No, I didn't see that with Man United. It's about reinvesting as well. The likes of Scholes and Giggs, I put them to as paramount examples. Although they were still effective in their mid to late 30s, they should have been put out to pasture and new players blooded through well before then. I think we let Rio and Vidic go on too long at the club before bringing in somebody to replace them. And I think that's what you don't want to do with Ramsey. He's still effective now, but if you bring somebody in to replace him now, it's better than paying loads of money. And then like Man United did with Rooney. They give him a new contract and then he faded, but he was stuck on a big contract. But it was like, you never quite know with certain players when they're going to fade away. Final call of the day we're going to put on now. Remember, we are back at 5:30 after the 5:30 game between Chelsea and Liverpool. So make sure you tune in for that. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello, what's your name, mate?
My name is Manuel.
Hello, mate. You a gooner?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, yes. Are you a gooner?
Yeah.
Lovely. What do you want to say, my friend? Final call of the night. Make it a good one.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Rob Holding. I think he's gradually becoming one of the best defenders. I think he's going to push Mustafi out soon. And I think Torreira needs to be talked to about the yellow cards. It's getting too many, because we might need him when we meeting the big clubs, and on that time he could be on yellow cards and wouldn't play. So he needs to be spoken to. And besides that, I think Aubameyang is very good when playing alongside Mkhitaryan, because I watched some clips when they were in Dortmund, and they were very good together. I think that's all I've got to say. Thanks.
Yeah, mate, appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Holding,
Rob Holding, I really like Rob Holding, and it was a bit of a strange one under Wenger, because he seemed to put him in, and he never really let us down. Remember, he was a very young defender coming in from Bolton, League One. Yeah. He never really let us down. I don't think he had the right person next to him to bring him through, but now every time he plays, he seems assured. He seems like he's getting a bit of form together, and I think gradually he will be first choice for us, possibly alongside Mustafi. I'm not Mustafi's biggest fan. I think he's a bit too rash to be a centre back. He makes some decisions and he just don't understand what's going on in his brain. But Holding, I think, is a very good centre back, and I think he will come through. The second point you made about Torreira, that's his game. We know what he's about. He will pick up yellow cards, because that's his job in the middle of the park, to put his foot in.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe he needs to work on his timing, but that will come. He's just getting used to the pace of the game. And I can't remember the last point he made there. But Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan. I think Aubameyang is not a winger. He's being fit in there. I would like to see Aubameyang and Lacazette together up front. But
got to work out a system
the system that Emery plays doesn't suit that. No. So, but
maybe if you want to raise some funds, maybe one of them goes.
No way. We've got two of the best strikers in the league.
You never know. Listen, thank you all for tuning in. As always, please smash that like button, whichever platform you are watching on. Really appreciate you tuning in. After Chelsea versus Liverpool, we will be back live on the air on the UFF channel, my channel, The Football Terrace, 100% Chelsea as well. So make sure you are tuning in. And I've got Football Banter Show as well. We'll be on the Football Banter Show as well. So tune into one of those platforms or via the UFF app, which is available in the description below. Take care of yourselves. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Real Fan Opinions brought to you by Wash and Go.